Hey guys, Andrew Esquire here from The Legal Mindset, helping you think like a lawyer. And today we're gonna talk about vaccinations, specifically the beer bug vaccination. You know what I'm talking about, the COVID-19 vaccine. And guess what? We're gonna talk about whether you can be forced to take that. And one way that you could be forced to take that vaccine no matter what. So stick around to hear that. So let's talk a little bit about the history of vaccines. Now, there have been vaccines for hundreds of years. Now, we talked a little bit about the case precedent for vaccinations in the US. If you look at my video on lockdown law, I went into full detail on the Jacobson case that involved smallpox and forced smallpox vaccinations. Vaccines can be required by local and state governments to address specific issues. So let's think about today, guys. When you went to school as a kid, you were probably forced to get some vaccines. Tetanus, measles, all the fun stuff, guys. That was all knocked out as a child. In fact, many people didn't even get chickenpox because they were vaccinated against chickenpox because they were vaccinated. And that's something that's clearly covered by the Jacobson case law. If you didn't want to get vaccinated, you couldn't go to public schools. It also has been required for certain jobs. For example, currently with healthcare workers, there are some workers that are forced to get the annual flu vaccine. That's something that's been established year to year based on the need and based on who they're working with, based on that risk of the job. Let's just think about this outside of the vaccine context for a second. If you have a firefighter, you want that firefighter to be able to pick up a fire hose, spray that fire hose, find a person, throw them over their shoulder, and carry them out of the building. If a firefighter is unable to perform those functions, they can't perform that job. So in jobs where it is essential that that person be protected from a disease, you can be required to be vaccinated. But the key issue is, can the federal government mandate that? Now, state and local governments have been doing this throughout time, but the federal government, they have never had a national vaccine requirement. So if Joe Biden gets up there in January and says, we're gonna make a law so that everybody has to be vaccinated, there are key objections to that. In fact, the Supreme Court has ruled in cases on the Affordable Care Act that that could be outside of the power of the federal government. So what we might see is this crazy framework of 50 different states going with completely different requirements. You might be required to get a vaccination before you travel to, let's say, Hawaii or Alaska, but that might not be required for Georgia or Mississippi, simply because those states haven't specifically required them. To go even further, there might be cities within certain states that require them. Well, Louisiana might say that you could come and visit without a vaccine. New Orleans might be able to say, if you want to come within city limits, you have to be vaccinated. These are unprecedented times, people. These are situations that have not really been tested under the full scrutiny of courts of law. Now, guys, there's one situation, one instance where it is 100% guaranteed that you will have to be vaccinated. You know what that is? International travel, guys. That's right, traveling. Let's say you want to go to the Bahamas, Aruba, Panama, Spain. Maybe you want to just chill in Ibiza. You're probably going to be required by at least some countries to get a vaccination. Sovereign countries have full discretion on determining the conditions in which people can visit their countries under a tourist visa. Right now, the majority of countries have determined that a test is required before visiting their country. Very few states have opted out. So don't be surprised, guys, if within a country you see that the citizens aren't required to get a vaccination, but in order to visit that country, you're mandated to get a vaccination. So guys, if you like this comment, if you want to hear more about this type of thing, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment below. But until next time, this episode is adjourned.